Hello, and welcome to another episode of Two Sisters of a Certain Age, Conversations with a Therapist
and a Doctor.
I'm your co-host, Judy Grant, licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I'm your co-host, Dr. Sophia Grant, board-certified pediatrician and board-certified child abuse pediatrician.
Okay, so before we even started, Candy said, you got to ask me. We got to start with this chit-chat, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. So, fill me in. What the heck's going on?
Okay, so you know I have jury duty, and
Yes.
I left to go, and then I had a massive panic attack in my driveway, hyperventilating, required my inhaler, sweating profusely. Somebody walking in the neighborhood thought I was having a heart attack, and I said, no, it's a panic attack. Now, ask me why I was having a panic attack.
Why were you having a panic attack?
Because I saw a rattlesnake in my flower bed this morning.
Oh my God, so it was totally justified.
It was completely justified. I was locking my door and I look over at my flower bed and I see a rattlesnake and I am backing away and I can't go into the opposite side because that's another flower bed. Suppose Big Sister is in the other side. So I step off and I'm in the walkway and I'm just like crying, wheezing, sweating, whole 9 yards. And this woman walking by, she sees me. She says, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, can't catch my breath. And she said, "I'm calling 911. I said, no. She's like, "What's going on?" Rattlesnake. And my first inclination was to call my son in San Francisco. What the hell can he do? What can he do?
But we're not in our right mind when these things
Oh
happen.
yeah.
So wait, hold on. So you step out your front door.
And I close the door and I have the key in and I'm facing the door.
Right.
And I look to my left and there is a rattlesnake about maybe 2/3 the width of my wrist.
Stop it.
Oh my God. I just thinking about, my heart is racing right now.
As is mine.
So, and then I'm like, I wanted to call you, but I'm like, I don't need to upset you. So I chose to upset you while we record this podcast.
Yes. So thank you.
Yeah. So that is how I started my morning. So
now, how'd you get into the house this afternoon? Because I wouldn't have been able to go through
the garage.
See?
Through the garage.
See?
And then the woman, she's like, well, let me take a look. And by the time my hysterics were over, the snake had slithered away. I didn't see it. I don't know what direction. Yeah. But I mean, this just kind of reinforces my phobia. And this is a time of year when I go into my backyard wearing cowboy boots. I just want something leather kind of high. And no homage to Cowboy Carter. But it's just like, and then I was looking up natural ways to repel snakes. They don't like scents. So they said, get like a plastic container and soak a cloth in ammonia and put it around, and then
But you need 700 of those to cover the perimeter of your home.
Well, I was thinking of buying a PVC pipe and putting holes in it and stuffing it with old towels and periodically
I see.
Just pouring ammonia in it.
Candy, I'm so sorry.
Let me tell you, it was like I almost didn't go to court. I'm on jury duty because I was so worked up. Hi, this is Dr. Grant. I can't come in because I'm too anxious. And then, of course, the fantastical thoughts about, is there a snake in my car? Is there a snake in my purse? Just,
We've
and
talked
Judy
about
and
this
I,
before.
we've talked about this before. It's completely irrational, but I knew you could relate. Isn't that crazy?
It's completely irrational, but it is so real.
Yeah, yeah.
It is
So,
so real.
yeah, yeah,
Listen, I haven't comfortably been able to go into my garage since Grayson found a snake in there last
yeah,
summer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's snake season. And I told you how I was walking Raina and I saw the
The
skin
skin.
remains, the
Yeah.
shedded remains.
Yeah.
So that is how I started my morning.
I am
And
so
I'm
sorry.
right. This window is, the
Yes.
snake was right underneath this
I know.
window. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, let's put all of that ugliness aside. Let's just take a deep breath.
Okay.
And talk about what we had planned to talk about. I can get started.
Yeah, because I'm still
Um,
in my feelings here.
yeah. Judy and I, we went to a wedding this weekend in Kentucky. It was in a small town called Paintlick, Kentucky. Our cousin Joshua was marrying a woman from Paintlick, Kentucky. So Joshua is the son of our first cousin. So it is our aunt's grandson. And we
Yes.
went. And I mean, we have another crazy story. Should we tell that story?
Well, let's talk about the
That
beauty
okay, all right.
of the wedding,
Okay.
because that story we can share in a
Right.
minute.
So the wedding was held at the family home of Connie and Mitchell Lamb. Shout out to Jessica and Joshua. By the way, Jessica, this young bride, she tells us I listened to the podcast. I'm like,
Yes.
I thought this was too old for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, and I
wow.
told her we were going to shout her out.
Yeah, and they're on their honeymoon right now. But they live on a farm and they have a lot of land, and the father built with his own hands a barn to house the wedding reception for his daughter.
Yes.
He built
Yes.
it like 6 months before. It's massive. There was a dance floor, tables, a little couch set up, a Mr. and Mrs. section. On the side, there was an area like a kitchen area where they served the food, and there were bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And this man, he got up and he spoke about when he got to meet Joshua. And I could tell he just loves his little girl. It was so beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so
Mm-hmm.
touching
Mm-hmm.
to think of this father who said, you know what? I'm going to build a venue for my baby. And he did it, and it was beautiful. And then I got to thinking about sacrificial love. And we learn about sacrificial love in the context of parents loving their kids. But the first time I heard the expression sacrificial love is in church. When you talk about
Mm-hmm.
Jesus gave his life, and that is an example of sacrificial love. But I think as parents, we give and we give and we give and we give.
Mm-hmm.
And this man isn't keeping track of anything. He just wanted to do something nice for his baby. And the sentiment was so beautiful, and the venue was so beautiful. We wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when we think about sacrifice, we think of it in terms of money, but there are other things that you can sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And, I looked up some things.
Hey, Candy, before you get into the things
Uh-huh.
that you looked up, I want to also call out mother of the bride, Connie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
who put so much
Love.
effort and love.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a palpable feeling in this
Yeah.
barn how much
Uh-huh.
emotion was on display. And I the little touches,
The
as soon as you
flowers and the
as soon as you came off of the road, the photographs of the kids,
hmm
um why can't First Corinthians written out
yeah.
beautifully,
Yeah, different,
lining
like, yeah,
the
yeah.
driveway. And I know that mom put in so much effort. So it was both of them coming together saying, this is what we're doing for our baby.
Right.
This is how special she is to us. And guess what?
Right.
This is how special Joshua is to us, that we're going to do
Right.
this not just for her, but for them.
Right.
For
If they
them.
didn't like him, they wouldn't be doing all of this, you know.
Right.
But then the friends got involved, so the friends helped. So the friends, I'm sure, know Jessica and love Jessica and wanted to make it special. It was just a wonderful example of that level of love.
Yeah. Yeah. I there was a moment where I was looking at her maid of honor,
Mm-hmm.
and these were during the speeches, and she was looking at whom, no, it was during the dances. Joshua and Jessica
Mm-hmm.
were having the first dance, and the maid of honor was looking at them. And it's like I just felt it. And I approached her
Mm-hmm.
later and I told her how beautiful it was for me to catch that moment of
Mm-hmm.
her watching them. So the love was evident everywhere. Um, and so, when we're coming back from this trip, Candy's like, we need to do an episode on sacrificial love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's a particularly good time when we talk about Dad of the Bride, because it's going to be Father's Day. And let's shout
Mm-hmm.
out to
Yeah.
him, and let's shout out to all of the amazing fathers
The
who
good
do
fathers.
so
Mm-hmm.
much for their kids. Like
Yeah.
you said, without keeping score, without tallying everything, they're just doing all of this out of
Yeah.
the goodness of their heart and their complete devotion and love for their children. All right,
Yeah. Yeah.
proceed, please.
So, I can think of, okay, sacrificial love, organ donors. People who give a kidney to somebody who they love. Now, do you think you can do that?
Before I answer that question, I'm also thinking of people who give organs to people they've never ever met.
I mean, that's craziness to me. But I mean, I think you're going to know my response. Can you give an organ?
Mm-hmm.
You can.
Can I give an organ to someone that I love?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah.
I cannot.
I would do it. I would do it.
I cannot. Judy, don't come to me for a kidney.
Well, this is lines up so nicely because years ago, I said, like, to you, if you couldn't have a baby, I would carry the baby for you.
And I said
And
I
you
couldn't.
said no. You said
I couldn't because I would have to keep the baby.
Yes, you said I couldn't do that for you. Sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I could.
Yeah.
I
So
want my.
you are consistent.
Yeah, I want my organs, and I want anything that grows in my uterus outside of fibroids. But yeah, I couldn't do it. And then you hear about what's his name, that comedian George Lopez, whose wife gave him the kidney, and then he's cheating on her. I would have cut that kidney out his body and then put it back in mine. And then like Tina Turner's husband gave her a kidney and gave her a few more years of life, and Tina didn't ask for it. She was ready to die.
Right.
That is, I think if my kids were babies, if this is a 4, 5, 6-year-old, you're 27, 28, life's tough.
Listen, I'm going to give your children my kidney if they need it.
That is beautiful.
Yes.
That is
You'll have
beautiful.
to help me with my recovery, but I'm absolutely going to give that.
And I will. I can't do it. I just know I'm just medical, and I just,
Yep.
Now, am I an organ donor? Yes. Am I registered to give my bone marrow? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But that other, I can't do it.
Okay, so
Can't do it.
sacrificial love.
I don't have that level. Now, I just as a physician, I've seen parents and they have a child, and the child might have some developmental disability or a rare genetic condition, so
Mm-hmm.
that this child, maybe their body will grow, but their mind won't grow, and they're changing diapers and they're picking up big kids. And that level of love, you have these people who it's just they don't see it as a burden, they see it as their child.
Absolutely.
Now I know I would be able to do that, but some people, they just do it without complaint, without. And then we're so used to mothers being the ones to give,
Mm-hmm.
that when I see the
Mm-hmm.
fathers who are just as dedicated,
Right.
I'm always like, wow, how refreshing.
Yeah. And I don't think parents think about that because this is just their child and they do what they
Right.
have to do for their child. And
Yeah.
you and I have been blessed with healthy children, praise God.
I'm knocking on wood.
Praise God. But if we needed to step up in that way, we absolutely would have.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying it would be easy,
Right.
but we
Right.
would do it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
absolutely do it.
Definitely.
And we wouldn't think about it.
Now, in pop culture, we think of Jack and Rose.
Oh, that wood
What are
plank.
your thoughts on Jack in the Titanic, or in Titanic?
Okay, so he put Rose up on the wood plank. He
Mm-hmm.
was sacrificing himself because he loved this woman so dearly. He wanted to ensure that she would survive.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with that is that there was enough space for both of them on that plank.
But
But
she
that
wanted to broad off.
but
Mm-hmm. She
but
wanted to spread out.
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking
Mm-hmm.
about the fact that you will sacrifice your life for those that you love. I mean, as parents, we talk about, I'll run through fire.
Right.
If my child is in a burning
Oh,
building,
yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go in there,
Right.
and I'm not happy about it, but I'm
Right.
going to do it if I'm going to save my child's life.
Right. Right. Right.
I have a story. Years ago, the five of us went up to the Sequoias, and where you park and you're hiking and it's beautiful and it's wonderful and the kids are little, but we're having a lovely time. And I come to notice that I don't see a lot of people on the path where we are. How we got off path.
Sweet Jesus.
So I was comforted when I'm around people because there are a lot of people there. There's a lot of noise, a lot of activity. But I had a completely different feeling when I felt it was just the five of us out here off path. And now in my mind, a bear is going to come.
Yeah. And then you don't remember, if it's brown, get down. If it's black, fight back. I don't know.
I don't know.
Loud.
A bear is a bear. A bear is a bear.
Right. I can't remember the genus and
So
phylum.
once I recognized the precariousness of our situation, I put the children ahead of me, and I put myself in the back,
Mm-hmm.
because let the bear get me and eat me before they get my children.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had them hauling their little butts down the hill, but I was like, I'd rather it take me.
Right.
Now, I was frightened,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, no, this is what I have to do.
Right. And it's so funny because after we decided to do this, I saw a story of a boy. He was 6. His name was like Bridger or something like that, and his sister was Bree or Brielle. I can't remember. And so he's 6. His sister's 3. They're walking in some Midwest state, and this German Shepherd comes
Oh
out
no.
and lunges at them, and his sister was in front, and he stood in front, and he got
Oh,
mauled. He
oh,
got mauled, and he got 90 stitches in his face. And his father, he told his father, if someone had to die, it should be me.
he's 6 years old.
And he's 6. He's 6. He's now 11. But then some wrestling foundation called him like a heavyweight, the Bridger heavyweight, and like he got like a wrestling belt,
Got the
and
belt. Mm-hmm.
and he's a hero. But you want to hear something? I feel like our brother Steve, I think he would stand in front of a truck, in front of a bear, in front of, for
Mm-hmm.
anybody that he loves.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
For I think of A Tale of Two Cities, where I can't remember the characters' names, but when the guy steps in to go to, I was it the guillotine? I don't know. It was death. I think Steve would have done something like that.
Steve would have.
I
Steve
think
would do it today.
I think Steve has that thing. He will give you the shirt off his back. He will give you his last dollar. He and the funny thing is Steve, he doesn't really have a lot of friends, but when he loves you and you're in his circle, he would sacrifice for you.
Mm-hmm.
And he demonstrates that all the time.
Yeah.
And it makes putting up with the eccentric side of him, you go, oh, okay, all right. Remember that time we were at your house and maybe one of the kids was in the
Oh,
pool? Who was it?
Zachary was in the pool. So we were all the adults were sitting, and we only had 3 kids between the two of us at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 of them were just in the pool, and we are 6 feet away. And Zachary is just, a few feet from the wall, but couldn't get there. And Steve, from a sitting position, fully clothed, dress shoes on, stood and dove into the pool and pulled Zachary out, put him up on the decking, and sat back down.
As if nothing happened.
Nothing.
Water dripping off him, water coming out of his shoes, acting like continued with the conversation.
Yes, yes, yes.
And yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, wow. Wow. So there was space on the boat or whatever for Jack.
On the plank, the
On the
wooden
plank.
plank. Yeah.
Now, remember that book, The Giving Tree?
Oh yes.
The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein.
Mm-hmm. Classic.
I don't know if it's here on my bookshelf, but if you haven't read The Giving Tree, it's about a boy who wants to sit under the tree and give the shade. And then the boy does he want to put a swing on it? Does he? Anyway, at the end of the story, the tree has given so much that there's nothing left but a stump for the boy to sit on. Now a man, I guess. And I don't know if that's about sacrificial love or if it's about codependency. But that story, like it didn't, I don't know how Shell wrote it, what I was supposed to feel, but I was like, this boy's a jerk. Just taking and taking and taking. But I mean, you as a therapist, what are your thoughts on that?
So I'm thinking I need to examine the relationship,
Uh-huh.
because okay, so it's not a tree. It's a parent. It's a loved
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah.
We will give and give and give to the people that we love,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we like, even though we feel like we can't, we're still giving.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to think of it as codependence. I don't want to. I think of it, the boy being a jerk. I just want to think of it as like a love story of this tree giving all it can to protect and keep this child, now a man.
I don't see it that way. I just, I don't see it as a beautiful love story. I just see it as somebody taking, taking, taking. And that's the thing is when you have that giving heart, there's certain people who will take from you
This is
and
true.
take
And
and
take
take.
advantage.
Yeah. And, so sometimes you're doing things out of the goodness of your heart and you're not keeping track, but some people are users.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think that's, I mean, if you have the self-awareness to be able to reflect and look at that relationship, you can
Mm-hmm.
determine what that is. But we're talking about, and I don't want to segue off into something negative, we're talking about the beauty of that love that you give so freely and that you are more than happy to give, um, because you're going to do anything for these people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's like this protective feeling thing that we have, right? We want to protect them, we want to keep them safe, we want to ensure that they are, you know, comfortable in this space, so we give to ensure that they are. um, and I want to focus more on how we willingly sacrifice those things without even thinking about it, because we are here. And I'm just really thinking of like the parent child relationship now.
I know. Mm-hmm.
And because I'm going to do everything I can for my children, I'm going to do everything I can for your children, my
Mm-hmm.
brother's children,
Right.
you know. And I know our mother taught us
Yeah.
this. Our parents taught us this. Mommy has said to me more than once, more than a dozen times, if I have one rice grain left, I'm going to divide it amongst all of us.
Mm-hmm.
One rice grain.
She's never told me that. But, growing up the way we grew up, I always knew that mommy and daddy would give us the world if they could. They
Mm-hmm.
certainly gave and gave to the far reaches of what they could. And I remember teasing daddy about his clothing choices and his polyester clothes. And daddy would say, I wear polyester so you can wear silk. And of course, daddy was the butt of our jokes. But when you become a parent and you want to do something, and it's typically financial,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't do it because the kids want to do something else. Um, with my kids, I've always stressed the importance of being a world citizen, a citizen of the world. So when the kids were in high school, Boogie came home and he said his what class, history class, one of those classes, they were going to Greece and Italy, and could he go? And I said, yeah. And we've talked about this before. I was working 2 and 3 jobs, barely scraping by, but I made a way to get Boogie to Greece
Mm-hmm.
and Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe Punky comes home and she's like, how come you didn't send me? That's my child who keeps track of everything. And I said, well, your class isn't going to Europe. So, I mean, if it happens, it happens, but you haven't brought anything home. And
Right.
then 2 weeks later, she says her Spanish class is going to Spain. Can she go? Now, when I say I'll send you to Europe, I didn't mean at the same time,
Right. Right. I remember
but
those trips.
I didn't know if another trip was going to happen. So I told Punky, yes, you can go. And I had to work some extra shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And I said they were in Europe at the same time, like
Right.
as if we were some cosmopolitan family. Oh, Zachary's in Greece and Haley's in Spain. But it was a stretch for me. But I promised my kids I would make it happen. So I made it happen.
Right.
And they were enriched for it, and I would do it again. It's the same thing with the private school and all the money that I've spent on them, because I felt like it made them better human beings, better at academics, more exposed, more well-rounded.
Right.
And it was so funny because the husband reached out, I guess, when they told him that, oh, we're going to Europe, blah, blah, blah. And he told me I was doing too much.
Right.
My response is, you're not doing enough.
That's right.
I'm gonna make a way for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not mopping floors. I'm not resorting to anything illegal, but you make a way for the things. And like, I don't even see that as a sacrifice. I feel like that was kind of necessary for them to become citizens of the world, to expose them and to be well-rounded.
Mm-hmm.
And now Haley has to get extra pages in her passport because she travels so much.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm grateful that I made that sacrifice. And
Right.
I tell them, I said, when you guys have kids, I don't want you guys scrimping on their kids' education. If you get a good public school one, that's great. But if you don't, hope you remember
Right.
that what I did, so you do the same for your kids. Because
Right.
I always felt that was invaluable.
You know, I'm thinking of Daddy again, and I'm thinking of when we were all in college, the four of us at different times, what have you.
Oh, yeah.
And Daddy did not allow us, like, we'd want to get like a little part-time job, you know.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Just a little bit of extra money so we don't have
Judy, when you were in college and you got a job, you couldn't even tell Daddy.
I couldn't tell him. But the reason being is because he told us that he worked so hard to get where he was. He had multiple jobs as a college student, as a medical student, that he never wanted us to be in that position. Yeah. So when I snuck and got that job, it wasn't because I had to. I just wanted a little extra pocket change. You know, right. And like you said, I couldn't tell him. Secret.
Mommy knew.
Mommy
knew. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mommy was always the one who kept our little secrets.
Oh, yes. But Daddy was sacrificing for us well before he even had us. You know, he knew what he wanted for his future children. So he knew, I'm going to do this now to set them up for better later. I mean, they moved from Jamaica back to California to provide us with a better education.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I also say I wish I had more time on the island, but I understand the sacrifice that they made for us because our whole family was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we had it demonstrated for us what those sacrifices
and
look like.
I'm just thinking of that verse from 1 Corinthians, love is patient, love is kind, love doesn't keep track of wrongs. And that is romantic love, but also like parental love too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been very patient with my kids that I wouldn't be with other people. I've been kind when I wanted to scream. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the thing is, like, when the kids are annoying us, I call you to vent. And you call me.
And then I say, you're not going to believe what your niece did today.
Oh, yeah. I told you, you're not going to believe what your godson did. Remember that time you and Maxine got into something? And then Maxine said, and I know you're just going to call Aunt Candy and tell her. And you're like, yes, I am. That's my sister.
That's my sister.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to call her.
So, Yeah, but venting is important. But
That's a whole other topic.
yeah,
But yes.
it's a whole. But yeah, we just wanted to chat about sacrificial love, and what are some of the ways that someone has demonstrated sacrificial love to you?
Yeah. And you to
Or
others.
have you given anybody a kidney?
Maybe our listeners have.
And God bless you for it. I would secretly hope that I am not a match. Like that, I wish I could, but you know,
My sister.
I know myself. I couldn't do
good.
it.
Yes.
I
We are
couldn't
so
do it.
similar in so many ways, and then complete opposite in
Right,
others.
right. And nobody wants my almost 59-year-old kidney.
Yeah. It's worked. It's been working for a minute.
Right, right.
It would be great to hear from our audience ways that they have demonstrated or have been recipients of, and yeah, I would just love to hear those stories. And like I said, as we approach Father's Day, and probably this will air after Father's Day, but I just want to acknowledge the dads, acknowledge Mitch and Connie for the beautiful, extraordinary wedding that they gave to Jessica and Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you sacrifice out of love, you don't even, it's not even a burden.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work.
It's not work. You just do it.
Yeah.
Because that little girl, that little boy, that granddaughter, whomever it is going to be happy. And seeing the joy on their faces is all you need.
Yep.
All you need.
Yeah.
Oh, just want to sit with that for a second.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Two Soka, Two Sisters of a Certain Age. You can find us on YouTube at Two Soka, Instagram, Two Sisters of a Certain Age, and email twosokapodcast@gmail.com.
And don't forget to share your stories with us. Email us.
Yes.
Drop us a message on Instagram. Would love to hear from you. All right, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
No Longer Network.